Hello everybody and welcome to video number 5 in our Learn to Play Chess series. Next piece on the agenda is going to be the lady, the queen. The queen is one of our favorite pieces. It's one of my favorite pieces, the strongest piece in chess. Can go all over the place. We're going to learn just where all that queen can go here today. And of course, where we should put that queen when we start our game off. So let's take a look here. The queens are on their respective starting squares. We have a few extra pawns on the board as well. You'll notice the white queen is on d1 and the black queen is over here on d8. Now, how do we remember which square to put our queens on at the start of the game? Well, we know that it goes in the center, but there's two squares in the center here. It could be either e1 or d1. The way to remember which square the queen goes on is that the queen's dress should match her shoes. She's a fashionable lady. She wants to make sure that she is looking her best. So the white queen is going to go on a white square on d1, and the black queen is going to go on the black square on d8. Now, how can these queens move now that we know where they go to begin the game? Well, the queen is a combination. It's kind of like the bishop, it's kind of like the rook, and it can do everything that both of them can do. So if we remember how those bishops moved, the queens can move along the diagonal of the color of the square they're on, just like the bishop. But if we remember how those rooks move, the queen can also move vertically along the file or horizontally along the ranks. This means that the queen has quite a few squares that it can go to. You'll notice that from its starting square, there's all these lines of the queen lashing out. Now, one thing we talked about with the bishop was that the bishop gained a little bit of power being in the center of the board, whereas the rook, no matter where we put it, it can move to the same amount of squares. So if we take those two ideas and combine them, let's see how that looks for the queen. So if we put the white queen here in the center, and the black queen over here in the corner, we'll notice that from the center, the white queen is going to have all 13 squares that the bishop could go to from the center. If you remember that from before, the bishop has 13 squares it can reach in the center. And the rook has 14, 7 along the file and 7 along the rank, giving us a total of 27 squares for the white queen, almost half the board that the queen can cover when it's in the center of the board. Now, if we take a look at the black queen, the rook, no matter where we put it, as we mentioned, always had 14 squares it could go to. So there's at least that many. And on the long diagonal, the bishop was able to reach 7 more. So our queen in the corner, it doesn't have as many squares, but we still have 21 squares that we can go to. So still about a third of the board almost from the corner. This means the queen is able to reach quite a few ways. Now, similar to both the bishops and the rooks, the queen is not allowed to move through other pieces. So if we go back to where we began here, you'll notice that these pawns are here in front of the black queen. Well, the black queen is not allowed to hop through the pawns. It can't get out on the diagonal. It can't go forward. It can't go ahead. The only places it can go right now are side to side. So the queen's not allowed to go through other pieces. It is the combination of the bishop and the rook, but it doesn't get any of those properties of the knight, unfortunately. Not quite that strong of a piece. How does the queen capture? Well, exactly how it moves. So if we were to take, let's undo that here. If we were to take our queen on d1, it could move up to d7 and capture the pawn. And of course, if we did that, the black queen could take it right back and we could play queen takes d7. So we want our queens to be more toward the center. They're going to be stronger there. And like the rooks and the bishops, we also need to make sure we move our pawns out of the way so we can open up some lines for our queens to come into the game. The queens are better with more space on the board. If you have any questions, any other comments, be sure to put them down in the comment section below, and hopefully you'll get your ladies out onto the board and winning some games with the queen, the strongest piece that we've got. Good luck, and I hope you've enjoyed.